Hello, intactivists. We're going to go ahead and talk about protesting in general, and then we're going to talk about intactivism and how they protest. But we're going to go and cover general protesting first and the truth behind what the point of protesting really accomplishes. So before I begin, I'm going to say that, hey guys, this is going to trigger you guys. It's probably going to happen. All right. So if you get triggered easily, that's on you. I don't know how to help you. Please click off. I mean, I don't know what you guys go through in your life, and if something makes you upset, well, I'm trying to warn you. So just go ahead and not watch this. So anyways, let's go. All right, there we go. So guys, you're not going to see me during this, and that's okay. I want you guys to see all of this. Now, remember guys, let me know how effective this is. If you do not agree with something, let me know if this changes your mind at all. All right, let's begin. All right, so we're starting off with, this is what it looks like to be a protest of Hamas or maybe Palestine. This looks like a bunch of Jewish people here complaining and protesting about Hamas. You have Destroy Hamas up here. So there's a call to action here. Okay, pretty violent. Look at this girl here. Oh, she looks like she's in peril. Oh, damsel in distress. This guy also looks like he's in distress. Look at all the flags. Like, is this changing any of your guys' minds? Is this changing your minds at all? Are you learning a lot? This one says, bring our children back. Bring back our children. Wow, that's very emotional. Is this swaying any of your opinions on anything, guys? Or does this sound good? Or are you agreeing with them? Let me know. Okay. Oh, look at this. What about this protest? This protest right here says Free Gaza. You got some Palestine flags. Look at all those people. Look at all those people. You even got cops here. So they're risking their lives with these cops. They look not very happy. Do they have a big screen back here? It looks like they got a big screen back here. But I'm not sure if that's a part of this protest. But look at how many people there are. They got the keffiyehs on. Is this changing your mind at all? I mean, which side do you think is right based off the protests? This one or that one? Did any of these guys change your mind? I mean, and if it did change your mind, is it based off the number of people? Because this one looks like there's more people protesting actually than this one. But I could be wrong. It's kind of hard to make out. But this one has a lot more law enforcement. Oh, what about this one? This one says, biology is not bigotry. Stop grooming our children. Right here. And there's a little girl saying, leave us alone. It says, we only trust our parents. This little dude here. I think this is a anti-trans rally. So if you support trans rights or whatever, does this change your mind at all? There's quite a few people here. American flags, very patriotic. Is this protest changing anyone's minds? Please let me know. Oh, look at this. This is a trans joy celebration protest. I think they got kids involved with this. Lots of kids. This one says trans joy. You are loved. There's adults here. There's definitely a variety of diversities. Here is an African American, it looks like. Also back here, white person, all different kinds of sexuality. Another African American right here. Look, this is super diverse. A very diverse group of people right here. Does this change your minds on anything? Because they got diversity. They got very nice lovey-dovey messages. Is this changing your mind on, oh yeah, trans rights? Oh, this one says trans kids have always existed. Right back here. Are you guys learning a lot about their movement with this? Are you guys changing your minds? Are you? And if so, let me know why. Oh, this one here is a Christian protest. This one says, go and sin no more. This quoting John 8:11. All right. Dodgers sold their soul. I don't know what that means. Sacred Heart for Jesus. Have mercy on us. Is this protesting changing anybody? If you're an atheist or Jewish or Muslim, is this making your religion change? I mean, there's a lot of people in this crowd. Look how many people there are. I mean, come on. Come on, guys. That's not changing your minds. That's crazy. It should. Oh, what about this? Right here, this one says Trump won. And then the other one is a counter protest saying Trump felony. Which one's right? I mean, this one here is very colorful. It looks like he took some time to put Trump won. This one looks like he kind of just got a giant billboard and put Trump felony. But it is bigger. Is it the bigger sign is more effective? I mean, let me know what's changed your minds, guys. And there seems to be quite a lot of people here. So, like, which protesting changed your minds? And another thing is, would you go and talk to any one of these people? Any one of these people would you walk up to and have a conversation with them? Any of them? Do these guys look approachable where you want to go and talk to them and learn more? Any of them? Okay, so in any of those photos, did these people seem smart? Like, how smart do you think those protesters were? Did they look like they were educated, well-to-do people, or did they look desperate, uneducated, and sheep-like? Like, why would you want to have a conversation with any of those guys? Why would you walk up to them and have a conversation with them unless you really support their cause or really cared about the other side of the argument and wanted to just go ahead and pick a fight? You know, those are really the only two reasons why I can see why somebody would go ahead and talk to protesters. But the point being is that most likely people already made up their minds before talking to these protesters, and that these protesters aren't changing that many people's minds. Also, how are you guys feeling when you guys went through that? Did you guys become curious, or did you guys get outraged and angry? Did it spark rage and anger instantly? Or did you think, heck yeah, these guys are my dudes? Or did you think, what a bunch of idiots? Like, let me know, guys, like, what you think about those protesters, and let me know how effective they were at changing your mind. Okay, so another thing we're going to talk about is protesting. It's a horrible atmosphere to learn new information. So here, this is the best learning environment. You have safety and security. A feeling of safety and security is essential for students to feel comfortable and focus on their learning. Okay, well, look, with protesting, you have a very high chance of this getting violent from either protesters, bystanders, or police, which adds more tension, and it's a hostile environment. Even Brother K has said this is a war. When we go out, we are fighting. I'll play the clip right here.
When I put on the suit, I feel like I'm putting on battle armor, going to war to slay the beast. Everyone who defends circumcision is the voice of the beast. It's almost like an arena. We're gladiators. We're gladiators going into, but it's an invisible thing. You're fighting an invisible enemy. People fought me on that. There were some people in our movement that said, well, we can't call it war. We have to stay peaceful. But it is a war.
Now, as a person who has been through combat before, you train and train in a calm environment, and then you ramp it up, and then you get thrown into a war where you can fall back on your training. So if these are war clothes that Brother K has said, going out to battle the public, your mindset is already in the wrong place to go teach people, right? Now, let's see. Positive feedback. What positive feedback is any of these protesters sending? Or even Bloodstained Men, what positive feedback are they sending? You know, it's either you agree with me or we're going to have an issue. And inclusivity and respect. I don't think that it doesn't provide inclusivity and respect in any kind of protesting, right? It's either you're with us or against us. And the flexibility and autonomy, there's no flexibility in the teaching. You get shock tactics on the street. Now, I'm not going to run through all of these because, let's be real, protesting, including the Bloodstained Men, they don't teach people about circumcision is wrong or whatever the cause is, even if that's their goal. They're really just raising awareness. That's kind of what protesting is for. But do you really think that protesting is the best light that we can go ahead and let people know about intactivism? What do you guys think? What do you think people are walking away thinking? Like, what did you walk away thinking whenever you saw those other protesters? Like, do you think that bystanders that see intactivism protesting, do you think they're walking away with good thoughts or negative thoughts? Think about that as we start talking about the Bloodstained Men uniform, because this gets a little bit more worse. All right, so now we're going to talk about the Bloodstained Men uniforms. And people who actually go out and protest in uniforms. I could not find that many people who protested in uniforms because honestly, those who protest in uniforms are pretty extreme. So one group that I know that protests in uniform is Antifa. Yep, you see the hammer sickle right there on their helmets. You know, they're anti-fascism. That's what they're protesting. And they're willing to get violent. Like, they have shields up. They're covering their faces. They have the hammer and sickle. So, Antifa, they wear uniforms together, right? It's all black. Like, let's go. Like, does this look cool, guys? Do you want to join these guys? Like, are you just like, yeah, let's go and join them? Like, yeah, do you? I don't know. I mean, or do you think these guys are crazy? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If these guys changed your mind on fascism. And now another group that goes ahead and wears a uniform when protesting is, this is going to probably shock you guys, but oh, wow, look at this. You have the Klan. Yes, they wear uniforms. They even got this little child here with her, it looks like a her with the long hair uniform going on. Is this changing your minds about anything, guys? I mean, you got like 5 of them all in the same uniform. Is that like a group you want to join? Because, oh yeah, the uniforms, like, yeah, maybe, no? Okay, well, no, the answer is no. And if you're saying yes, well, then you have problems. Don't be saying yes to this. Don't write stupid stuff in the comments, please. Now, look, guys, this is the Bloodstained Men. Like, come on, guys, really? Like, this is what we want to do. This is how we want to present intactivism to the public. Like, why? Like, the only other group that I know that wears uniforms was the Heaven's Gate Society, but they weren't really protesting, and they were a religious group. And honestly, if you look at the Bloodstained Men uniforms, I had intactivists tell me that they do look like the Klan on their period. I had another one say, if you took the KKK uniform and cowboys and then fused them together, you would get the Bloodstained Men outfit. Like, these are the optics that a lot of people think, right? I've also had other people say that Bloodstained Men are so cringy beyond belief. I wish they would just stop. Don't shoot the messenger. If you want to hear people speak about this, please go and join my Discord calls. And not only that, is why would anybody take any medical advice from people that look like this? Like, explain to me why you'd go up to this person and be like, yo, man, what's your medical advice on how I should go and live my life? Like, why would you go ahead and listen to them about that or circumcision or anything? Like, all of this is very shock tactic like. And I've even heard intactivists say that Bloodstained Men make me want to get circumcised or stay circumcised. Like, this, I don't know who this is appealing to at all. And when you look at them, you're not going to want to take medical advice from them. There's no appeal to authority. There's no perceived competence on the first impression. This seems to be irrational, religious, extreme, outlandish, and they look very angry. Like, this is what people are seeing. Like, the 5-second glance test, right? You're like, oh my God. Like, this is how people view intactivism. Is literally this. Think about the onlookers and the passerbys, right? Oh, I know, guys. Oh my God. Oh my God, Pots. I can't wait for the comments. They're going to be like, oh, you don't understand that the uniform represents purity and innocence, and the red represents the harm being done. And the Bloodstained Men crotch protest concept was a 2010 creation of the British intactivist Richard Dunker. It has nothing to do with hate. It's not a hate group. You know, like, it's good. It's good. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, well, look, for onlookers and passerbys, they don't know that. And this doesn't pass the 5-second glance test. I mean, you have to think like a non-intactivist. Like, okay, ready? If you had 5 seconds to glance at this, like driving by, kind of look the same a little bit, don't they? This doesn't pass the glance test. It's going to make people upset. And now let's go ahead and talk about something even crazier. All right, guys. Now, I don't know how this could even get more cringe, cultish, and just be even more out of touch with reality. And you're probably thinking, oh, it can't get any more crazier than this. Well, The name of the leader is Brother K. How did anyone think that was a good idea? Like, when a leader is named brother, that has very religious connotations, typically symbolizing importance in a religion or cult. And what does the K stand for in Brother K? I don't know, brother clan member? I mean, it's not, but like, holy crap, dude. Like, if you aren't rolling on the ground laughing right now, you're definitely crying because this is so bad. It stands for brother kindness, but where can you see that information? It's not on their website. I mean, I looked for maybe 15 minutes. I was told it means kindness for brother kindness, but once again, I can't see that on their website. I was told it means that, and I'm sure it does mean that, but like, optics of all of this is not good. And like, let's be honest, who are Bloodstained Men appealing to? What is their target audience? Nobody you want. This is appealing to cult members, like Heaven Gates Society, neo-Nazis, the most fringe people of society. And I don't know if you guys know what Heaven's Gates people are, but so Heaven's Gates, this was in San Diego, California, which ironically, Bloodstained Men is headquarters in California. They discovered 39 victims of mass suicide. The deceased 21 women and 18 men of varying ages were all found lying peaceably in matching dark clothes and Nike sneakers and had no noticeable signs of blood or trauma. So these were members of Heaven Gate religious cult, right? And this is what they looked like. Once again, trigger warning, okay, in case people don't like to see unalived people. So yes, they were matching sneakers, dark clothes, right here, right there, more people on their beds. Yeah, and like, this is people that would look the same, that would have the same haircut style, the optics, man. So in case you don't know who the Heaven Gates people are, that's what that is. I think their uniform and their leader name is just not a great idea for what they're trying to do, which is teach people about intactivism and how not to circumcise, right? Honestly, this is probably why there is a lot of people running around in the intactivist movement with very hateful and fringe ideologies. And then intactivists like to act super shocked, like, OMG, why are there so many hateful people in the intactivist movement? I don't get it.
Hey, who made this big mess?
This is a very big reason why people do not want to be labeled an intactivist. And honestly, I think the Bloodstained Men protests have very little to do with stopping circumcision. The point of protesting, especially the Bloodstained Men style, is to vent frustration. I think Cockfight, they separated because they knew that this wasn't really working out all that well.
We were dressed in bloodstains. This was like early Cockfight days. We still wore the bloodstain, the fake blood on our crotch. And right when I got there, I was like, okay, party's over, everyone. And everyone just like stops in their tracks and looks at us. And Luke was like, don't say that. Like, I'm like, that's the optics of our demonstration, right? We're like, so nowadays we try to be part of the event. Like, we want to be, when we go to a college football game, we don't want to bring people down. We want to just kind of match their mood and stuff, because understand, people are expecting to have a good time. They don't want to be brought down by depressing thoughts and stuff. So I just feel like it's really the wrong time to protest a human rights injustice. So we just take sort of a more educational tone.
Protests show that you're willing to make a martyr of yourself by willing to get ridiculed in public, arrested, display violence if you have to, and more. The Bloodstained Men's outfit is clearly provocative and has a very clear statement. I'm mad about being circumcised, who wants some? But once again, this is very atypical human behavior that's not relatable. It shows desperation and is a huge turnoff to most people. And even if they do look at the signs, they're not really learning anything in a hostile environment that Brother K calls a war. Bloodstained Men protest sends the same message. I'm angry and I'm ready to fight anyone who disagrees with me. Maybe not directly, but look at their shock tactics they're going for. They are wearing all white cowboy hats and red paint. Like, what is the target audience, guys? Please explain to me what their target audience is. I have no idea. Like, I I don't even know how they even appeal to normal intactivists, to be honest. I think there are intactivists that they do appeal to that are like extreme, sure. I know some people are going to say, oh, well, if the Bloodstained Men are so bad at getting followers, then why are they making $100,000 plus a year in donations? Well, that's because the Bloodstained Men, they appeal to very emotional intactivists that are angry. And they, like the intactivists, they can't stop to think what they're actually doing. And the emotional people are going to throw a ton of money at things without stopping to think what they're doing. Like, this is very common human psychology. Like, Bloodstained Men is very flashy, like very flashy. Everyone loves to dump money into flashy things, whether that's cryptocurrency, stocks like GameStop, stocks that are the next big things, AI stocks currently, or, you know, a protesting nonprofit that is using illicit shock tactics to induce strong emotions. And just because the strong emotions worked on the very upset intactivists that are probably already in a very bad place, okay, that doesn't mean everyone's in a very bad place. And it probably, and I've been told constantly that it turns a lot of people off. So the result is that the mild to moderate intactivists get pushed out of the cause because they don't want to be associated with the Bloodstained Men that are becoming the face of intactivism. I have been told multiple times that the Bloodstained Men are the best group, that they are the face of intactivism, and many quote-unquote intactivist companies and intactivists that try and reduce circumcision in general try desperately to not be labeled an intactivist. And I think it has a whole lot of reasons to do with Bloodstained Men. They will call themselves genital autonomy or child's rights groups to avoid the extremist image of being labeled an intactivist. Or even worse, many just simply leave. I've gotten those comments. All the while, a flood of extremists continue to join the movement and perpetuate the issue of extremism, letting more and more babies get circumcised because they are just targeting an extremely fringed audience, and honestly, they're just venting their frustrations out in the world. Humans be damned at this point, you know, because the way Bloodstained Men are protesting, I'm not seeing evidence that it's really working that well. Anyways, this is what I think based on the evidence and what I've been told by you guys. There are even people that make fun of protesters. Let's listen to Zach Starr really quick in this clip.
Simulations are predicting over 1 million dead by the end of the month if we don't stop this. I know what we need to do. We need to protest. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, okay? If we really want to save lives, we should pray.
Now, I know a lot of people want to keep the intactivist protests going, and I totally get that. Well, if you want to keep the protests going in an effective way, let's look at what the actual research has to say about how to run a quote-unquote successful protest. So this right here is success factors when it comes to protesting. Okay, so nonviolent tactics as opposed to violent tactics. This has a large effect, and the strength of this evidence base is strong. So this is good. Now, you want your protest group to be nonviolent. Now, does Bloodstained Men, do they use nonviolent tactics? Yes, kind of. I would say it's pretty provocative. I would give it, I don't know, does shock tactics count as nonviolent? I don't know. Large numbers of participants. Yeah, okay. Intactivists, we don't have that. So that's a problem. And it is a very strong evidence base that this does work. Right? There is evidence for it. Intactivists just don't have the numbers. Social political context is their media coverage. Now, this is where NLI is really trying to step it up and help the Bloodstained Men. But Bloodstained Men, they're actually rejecting it, which is interesting because there's a moderate amount of evidence to suggest that supportive elite allies and current media coverage does help a huge ton, but Bloodstained Men want to reject it, which I don't know. That's wild. So you would want to have a protesting group that is okay with the media coverage. a diverse range of participants of demographic and societal groups. This has a weak evidence-based, but it's moderate. A non-violent radical flank, moderate, weak, so doesn't really too much matter. Unified protesters who ask the same demand or present a unified front. Intactivists, they don't really ask for the same thing. You have genital integrity, you have genital autonomy. Some want to preserve everything, so bodily autonomy. So, I mean, you're going to have a group that does that. Being able to capitalize on trigger events, okay. So look at this, guys, and like, do you really think an intactivist protest is really the answer? I mean, once again, I don't know, though. I'm pretty dumb. I can't wait to hear your comments, though, in the comments section. Another thing as well is this article here says that many protesters believe that proper dress and a certain level of presentability would make them appear less threatening, and maybe, just maybe, it would change the perception of Black people in the eyes of other communities. So, proper dress, right? Oh, and even Brendan Marotta spoke about dressing properly in his interview.
And I think what you're talking about is something slightly different, which is that there are people who are speaking in a way that doesn't help the issue, which is a different situation. And so there's a quote that comes from Margaret Thatcher that I've actually heard Marilyn Milos repeat, which is that the more radical the cause, the more conservative you should dress. Meaning, if you're trying to do something really radical, you need to speak calmly, you need to wear a suit, you need to present those ideas in the most palatable and good version possible. And that's basically what I've done with the interviews that I did around my film. Was like, I just wear a suit and speak normally about it. And guy wearing a suit speaking about public issue is a very, normal genre. That's how most issues function. And yet I do notice that there is a feeling among some that they need to present it differently in order to get popular attention. And that does work sometimes. Like, there are sort of shock tactics that do get attention.
Suit, tie, very formal. That saves babies, right? That is evidence-based research. Like, is this really the proper dress? Is this really how you want to look? So yes, guys, so let's continue this conversation in the comments or my Discord. Now remember, guys, do not talk about any other thing else besides intactivism. I don't care about what groups you support otherwise. That's fantastic. If you want to tell me that, you can go ahead and do a Discord call with Potts, and you can go to our Friday meetings and you can talk about whatever thing you want to talk about. That's cool, but not on the YouTubes, all right? Also, based on the poll that we did, it seems very split between Bloodstained Men's nonprofit group being fantastic and amazing and the best intactivist group ever, and being not good and horrible. But it seems that intactivists are split on Bloodstained Men as a nonprofit group. So this seems to be a very divisive and controversial topic. So yeah, I can't wait to hear what you guys say. But keep it to intactivism, keep it nice, keep it clean. I'm so excited to get feedback on this video. So please comment your concerns, questions, support, and your critiques. I would love to hear your critiques, or just say hi. I love it when you guys say hi to me in the comments. Next week, I'm going to offer you guys 5 much better solutions that work much better, in my opinion, based off my experience and evidence, and also other people's experience. Now, these are not going to be flashy, but if you're serious about slowing the rates of circumcision and perhaps even stopping it, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss next week's video. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye.